The dog that didn't run, the air was thick with smoke. Fires still burned on the edge of the battlefield. Trees were broken, ground torn up by weapons no human had ever seen before. The war between Earth and the alien invaders had ended just 3 days ago, but this place still smelled like death. In the middle of the silence, a dog walked slowly through the ruins. His name was Max, a big, strong German shepherd with old scars and smart eyes. He didn't belong to the army anymore. Now he lived in a small cabin in the forest with his owner, Jack. But something had brought Max here. He sniffed the ground, ears up, tail low. There was a sound in the distance. Faint. Not a human voice. Not a machine. A strange kind of cry. Soft, shaky, and full of pain. Most animals would run away from that sound. Max didn't. He followed it, walking past blackened trees and broken machines. He walked over burnt alien armor, stepped around twisted metal, and stopped when he saw a shape lying against a rock. It wasn't human, it was tall, thin, with dark blue skin. Its armor was broken and blue blood leaked from its side. The alien's eyes were wide open, full of fear. Max didn't growl. He didn't bark. He just stepped closer, sniffed the alien's hand, then slowly licked its wound. The alien gasped, trying to move, but it was too weak. One of its arms twitched and a small silver object rolled from its hand. It looked like a stone, but it glowed softly with light. Max looked at it, then back at the alien. He stood still for a few seconds. Then he turned and ran. Through the forest, back the way he came, paws hitting the ground hard. Leaves and branches flew behind him as he ran faster than ever before. He didn't stop until he reached the small wooden cabin near the edge of the woods. Inside, Jack was fixing the radio again. It hadn't worked since the EMP during the last alien attack. He was trying to contact the outside world. Max barked once, then again, louder. Jack looked up. "What is it, boy?" Jack asked. Max barked again and grabbed Jack's sleeve with his teeth, pulling him toward the door. Jack frowned. Max never acted like this unless something was very wrong. He grabbed his old rifle from the wall and followed Max into the woods. It took them nearly 20 minutes to reach the spot again. But when Jack saw what Max had found, he stopped in his tracks. The alien was still there, still alive, but barely. Its skin was pale, its chest rising slowly. Jack raised his rifle, aiming it straight at the alien's head. Max stepped in front of him. Jack blinked. "Move, Max." Max didn't move. The alien made a soft sound. Not a word, just pain. Jack lowered the gun slightly. He stepped closer, his eyes scanning the alien's wound. It had been burned through the armor, the kind of injury that couldn't be fixed easily, not without help. The alien opened its eyes again. With shaking fingers, it pushed the glowing object toward Jack. Jack didn't take it. "What the hell is this?" he whispered. The alien tried to speak. One word came out. "Please." That was enough to freeze Jack. He looked at Max, who was now sitting quietly next to the alien, his tail brushing against the ground. Max wasn't afraid. He wasn't angry. He had chosen to help. Jack had seen enough war, enough killing. This alien wasn't a threat anymore. It was dying, and Max had found it first. Jack slowly crouched down, putting the rifle on his back. He picked up the glowing object. It felt warm in his hand, like it was alive. The alien closed its eyes. Jack didn't know what to do, but he knew one thing. If the army found this alien, they'd finish the job. No questions asked, and something in his gut told him this one didn't come to kill anymore. Jack looked around. The sky above was turning dark. Clouds were building again. Rain would come soon. Maybe that would wash away the blood and tracks. "All right," Jack said, standing. "Let's get you out of here." He bent down and picked the alien up, arms shaking under its weight. Max walked beside him, quiet and watchful. They moved slowly through the forest, back toward the cabin. Neither of them saw the shadow above the trees. A strange ship had entered the sky, and someone else was watching, far above the earth. Someone who wanted the alien dead. The human who didn't kill. The cabin was quiet, except for the sound of rain tapping against the windows. Jack sat at the edge of the couch, watching the alien breathe. Its chest moved slowly, too slowly, and its skin looked dull now, like all the color had been drained away. He had used every clean cloth he had to stop the bleeding. He wrapped the alien's side and shoulder, even though he had no idea if he was doing it right. It wasn't like human skin. It was tougher, smoother, but underneath, it still bled. Max lay near the door, ears up, eyes alert. He hadn't taken his eyes off the alien since they got back, not out of fear but loyalty, like he had found something he needed to protect, and now it was part of his pack. Jack rubbed his tired eyes. This was insane. He was hiding an alien soldier. Just days ago, this thing's army was bombing cities and melting tanks with weapons humans couldn't even understand. And now? Now he was saving one of them. Jack leaned forward and looked again at the glowing stone the alien had given him. It sat on the table, pulsing softly with light like a heartbeat. It had strange symbols floating across the surface, not engraved. Floating, like little ghosts. He didn't dare touch it again. The last time he did, he heard something. No, felt something. A voice not in his ears but in his mind. Calm, female, not human. It had said only one sentence. You are now a witness. Witness to what? Jack stood and walked to the small stove. He poured hot water into a cup and dropped in some leaves for tea. It had been days since he slept properly, maybe longer. The world had ended and now it was trying to rebuild, but for people like him, far from the cities, the war had left scars no one came to fix. Suddenly he heard a noise behind him. Not Max. He turned. The alien was awake. Its eyes were open. Not wide, but aware. One hand slowly reached toward its side where the bandage was. Then it looked at him. Not with hate, not even confusion. Just curiosity. Jack raised his hand slowly. Hey. You're okay. You're safe here. The alien didn't speak. Its mouth opened slightly, but no sound came. Instead, it moved its fingers and pointed at the glowing stone on the table. Jack picked it up carefully. Is this some kind of translator? The alien nodded. The stone pulsed. A few symbols appeared in the air above it, then shifted. Then, a voice came. Not Jack's, not the alien's, but something between them. You chose not to kill. Why? Jack blinked. The voice had come from the stone, and yet it felt like the alien had spoken. I've done enough killing, Jack said simply. More light floated above the stone. You are a soldier, Jack nodded. Was. Not anymore. There was silence for a moment. Then the voice spoke again. They left me behind. Jack wasn't surprised. Yeah, your kind doesn't seem big on loyalty. The alien looked away. Jack almost thought he saw shame in those strange eyes. Max stood and padded over, resting his head near the alien's leg. The alien blinked, then gently placed one hand on the dog's head. The glowing stone pulsed again. He is not like the others. Jack chuckled quietly. No, he's not. He's better. The alien seemed to relax slightly. Jack took a deep breath. You need medical help. But if I take you to any human hospital, they'll finish the job. The stone lit again. Then I will die here. Jack didn't reply. The room felt heavier now. Outside, thunder rolled far across the hills. Then the alien added something unexpected. But if I die, the warning dies with me. Jack's eyes narrowed. What warning? The alien's fingers twitched. It pointed to the glowing stone. More symbols formed and the voice returned. We were not the first to come here. We were sent to prepare Earth for something worse. Jack stepped closer. Worse than your warships? Yes. We came to conquer. But they come to erase. Jack sat down slowly. Who? The alien looked at him. This time the voice didn't come from the stone. It came from its mouth, weak and broken. but clear enough to send a chill through Jack's spine. The Eaters. Suddenly, Max barked, loud, sharp, once. Jack jumped to his feet, grabbing his rifle from behind the door. Max was already at the window, growling now. Jack looked outside. 2 red lights hovered in the dark. Not headlights. Not drones. They were eyes, hovering, watching, and then they vanished. The alien tried to sit up, panic in its face. The stone pulsed again. They found me. Visitors in the night. Jack locked the front door, then the back one, then every window. He moved quickly, checking his old shotgun, even though he knew it would be useless against whatever those things were. Still, it made him feel less helpless. The alien, weak and struggling, tried to sit up on the couch. Blood soaked through the bandages again. Its breathing had turned fast and shallow. Jack rushed back and gently pushed it down. "Don't move," he said. "You're not healed yet." The alien grabbed his arm. Its fingers trembled, but the grip was tight. The stone on the table pulsed again. "If they come inside, run." Jack shook his head. "Not happening." Max stood near the window, growling low in his throat. His eyes didn't move. He was staring at something outside, in the darkness. But when Jack looked, he saw nothing. Only black trees. Only rain. Then, a knock came at the door. Not loud, just one knock. Then silence. Jack's heart nearly stopped. It was 2 a.m. No one should be knocking at his cabin. Not now. Not after what he just saw. He took a deep breath and walked toward the door slowly. He didn't open it. He just called out, "Who's there?" No answer. He looked through the peephole. Nothing. Just shadows. Then, tap, tap, tap. The window this time. He spun around. Outside, at the edge of the forest, something stood. Tall. Too tall. Like a shadow wearing skin. Then it vanished. The alien gasped. Jack turned back to him. The stone flashed wildly now, and the voice came again. "Do not let them touch the stone." Jack picked it up, holding it tight. "What are they?" "Scouts. From the next invasion. Not alive. Not dead. Made from what they eat." Jack's mouth went dry. "You said they're called Eaters." The alien nodded weakly. "They feed on memory, on history. They do not conquer. They remove entire civilizations, as if they never existed." Outside, the knocking came again. This time, from the back door. Then another knock, at the side window. Then another, and another. Too many. They were surrounding the cabin. Max barked wildly, running from room to room. Jack felt sweat running down his back. He grabbed a flare gun from his drawer. Just one flare left. He loaded it and stood in the center of the room. Then the voice came again. Not from the stone, but from every wall, every window. "Give us the witness." Jack froze. The alien looked up at him. "They mean me," the voice from the stone said. "Or the stone. They can't let Earth know what's coming." Jack clenched his fists. "Then we warn them." The alien shook his head. "Too late. They're here to erase, and I'm the first memory to go." Glass shattered. One of the windows exploded as something slammed through it. A shadow with no clear shape, but it moved like smoke. Fast, silent, wrong. Jack didn't think. He fired the flare gun straight at it. The small room turned bright red. The creature screamed. No, it burned. It didn't bleed, didn't die like anything Jack had ever seen. It melted, vanished into ash. But more were coming. Jack grabbed the alien and pulled him off the couch. "You need to move. Now." He put the alien's arm over his shoulders and half dragged him toward the basement stairs. Max ran ahead, barking like mad. More glass broke. Doors slammed open. Wind rushed in from every side. The house wasn't safe anymore. As they got to the basement, Jack slammed the door shut and locked it. He switched on the single bulb hanging from the ceiling. It flickered. The basement was small, cold, a place he used for old tools and winter storage. He laid the alien on an old mattress. "What do they want exactly?" he asked, voice shaking. To make sure no one believes, the stone replied. To erase witnesses, to erase hope. Jack stood still thinking. Then something hit the basement door. Hard. Once. Twice. Then it stopped. Complete silence. The alien opened his eyes again. If they can't take me, they will take you. Jack looked down at the glowing stone. It was growing dim now. Then let's not give them the chance, Jack said. He reached for a rusty old box in the corner. Inside was his emergency radio, battery-powered. One of the last working ways to send a message long range after the satellites went down. He tuned it, his hands shaking, praying it still worked. Then he started to speak. This is Jack Brenner, former combat medic, Rural District 12. I have contact with an alien survivor. This is not a joke, there's something worse coming. Something that doesn't just kill, it erases. If anyone hears this, copy, record, broadcast. Please. We don't have much time. The alien gave a faint nod. The stone pulsed again. They are listening now. Jack looked up. The light went out, and something whispered his name from the darkness. A signal sent. Too late. The darkness inside the basement wasn't normal. It felt alive. Jack couldn't hear anything now. Not even Max. The dog had gone silent, his usual barking replaced by a low growl. Jack reached for his flashlight, but when he clicked it on, nothing. Dead. Brand new batteries, but the light refused to work. The emergency radio gave off one fast, weak crackle, then went cold. No signal, no power, no escape. Only silence. He sat back, heart pounding, eyes straining to adjust to the blackness. The alien beside him had stopped moving. The stone in Jack's pocket still gave off a soft, fading glow. That was the only light now. Dim, weak, but still fighting. Are they still out there? Jack whispered. The alien didn't speak. Instead, the stone answered. They're not outside anymore. Jack swallowed. He felt cold sweat on his neck. His hand gripped the flare gun even though it was empty. His mind raced for answers, for options. But there were none. They were trapped, alone. And the enemy wasn't knocking now, it was already inside. He looked around the basement trying to think. Then suddenly, Max whined. The dog stepped forward, staring at the wall. Then, without warning, the bricks shifted. Not broke, not cracked. They simply moved, as if something behind them was breathing. Back up, Jack whispered. The alien tried to move, but was too weak. Then came the sound, a whisper, but not in English, not even in sound. It echoed inside Jack's head, twisting words that didn't belong to any living tongue. He screamed, grabbing his ears. Max barked, leapt toward the wall, and, without hesitation, bit into it, and the wall screamed back. Jack couldn't believe what he saw. The bricks oozed black smoke and bled something blue. Max backed off, his muzzle stained, but the wall now held still. Then, footsteps, not above them, below, from under the basement. Jack looked down. There was nothing beneath the mattress except wood flooring, but now there were cracks. Thin, glowing, lines spreading out like veins. The alien finally opened his eyes. They're trying to take us through the floor. Jack stood and pulled the alien back up. We're leaving. Now. But where? The stone asked. Jack didn't answer. He ran to the far side of the basement and kicked open the old coal chute. It was narrow, dirty, forgotten, but it led outside. He lifted the alien, shoved him in first, then helped Max squeeze in. Last, he followed, crawling through mud and ice as the world behind him burned with whispers. They emerged behind the cabin, gasping, coughing. Rain hit Jack's face like tiny nails. He could hear the house behind him creaking, like it was being eaten. No, erased. Jack picked up the alien again and ran. Where? Anywhere. Anywhere with light. He made it to the old truck hidden under a tarp. Threw off the cover, dumped the alien in the back seat and jumped in. The keys were still there. He turned the ignition. Nothing. He turned it again. Still nothing. Max barked once, then froze. Across the trees, one of the eaters was watching them. Its face wasn't a face at all, just a swirl of color and hunger. No eyes, no mouth, just hunger. It floated forward. Jack tried again. This time, the truck roared to life. He didn't wait. Tires kicked up mud and leaves as he floored it down. The dirt road, speeding past broken branches and fallen trees. The rain made it hard to see, but he didn't care. He just drove, fast, furious, terrified. In the back seat, the alien groaned. His chest was glowing. The stone flashed again. No, now, Earth will never be safe again. Jack looked into the rearview mirror. 2 more shapes appeared in the woods. They weren't running. They were gliding, and they were following him. "This is insane," Jack muttered. "I just wanted to help a hurt creature, not fight some galaxy-level nightmare." He glanced at the alien again. "No offense." The alien gave the faintest smile. "You chose right. And now you must finish it." Jack drove until he reached the edge of the nearest town. Everything looked quiet, but something was wrong. Too quiet. No streetlights. No movement. No life. He stopped in front of the old fire station. Doors open. Gear scattered on the ground. He stepped out, Max close behind, the alien limping at his side now. Then Jack saw it. In the middle of the street, 15 people. Standing still. Staring at the sky. Unmoving. Unblinking. "Hello?" Jack called out. No one answered. He walked closer. There, eyes were white, mouths open, and they weren't breathing. Not asleep. Not dead. Gone. The alien touched Jack's arm. They didn't get a warning in time. Jack looked around. He realized something. This had already started, and Earth didn't even know it. Not yet. But maybe. It wasn't too late. He turned to the alien. "Can you boost the signal from the stone? Can you make it louder? Stronger?" The alien nodded barely. Jack pulled out his phone. Dead. But he had another option. The fire station had an old ham radio tower. He just needed to get it working. He looked at Max. At the alien. "This is it. If we can warn someone, anyone, then maybe it's not over yet." Then Jack said the words that would echo across every human outpost still listening. "My name is Jack Brenner. I'm sending this message to anyone who can hear me. Earth is not alone, and something has come to erase us." Then the sky split open with light. The eaters had found them. Earth must choose, run or fight. The emergency signal echoed into deep space, sent from an old ham radio Jack barely knew how to use. He didn't know if anyone would hear it. He didn't know if it was already too late. All he knew was that something, ancient and dark, had followed the alien to Earth, and now it was spreading. He had just finished sending the signal when the ground shook under his feet. "Max!" Jack shouted. The dog growled, ears up, fur bristling. From the road, a wave of black mist rolled in. Not smoke, but something alive. It crawled along the pavement like it was searching, hungry. Jack slammed the fire station doors shut, locking. Them. He grabbed the alien and pulled him behind an old fire truck. The alien was barely standing now. His skin was too pale. The blue glow in his chest had started to fade. "We don't have much time," the alien said, voice weak. "What is that thing?" Jack asked. The alien looked toward the shaking windows. "They are called the Varnock. They erase. They do not kill. They do not conquer. They make it so you were never born." Jack blinked. "You mean, like time travel?" "No. Worse. They feed on memory, on history. They remove entire species from the universe's story." Jack felt a cold chill run down his back. How do we stop something like that? The alien didn't answer. Instead, the stone he carried began to glow again. This time, stronger. It pulsed like a heart. Jack held it up. "What's it doing?" The alien nodded toward it. "It's calling for help." "From who?" "The only ones who ever survived the Varnock. The humans." Jack froze. Wait, what do you mean? I thought we were just now being attacked. The alien closed his eyes. Thousands of years ago, Earth was visited by something like this. But your ancestors, the first humans, they were different, dangerous. One group made a stand and somehow they stopped the Varnock, no one knows how. Jack stared at the glowing stone. So we've fought them before? Yes. But the memory was lost. On purpose. To protect you. Jack frowned. Then why now? Because I brought them back to you, the alien whispered, looking ashamed. I was the last survivor of the planet they erased before this. My ship was broken. I thought I could hide. I crashed here and now they followed. Jack looked down at Max. The dog was staring at the back wall of the station, tail low, growling. The black mist had found them. Suddenly, the lights inside the station flickered, then died. The radios went silent. The stone flared one last time. Then a voice came through the speaker. Human signal received. Confirm location. Prepare for interface. Jack leaned in. Who is this? There was static then. Echo Fleet, orbiting outer edge. We need eyes. You are now Earth's last watch. Jack's heart thudded in his chest. Fleet? You mean help's coming? No, the voice replied. You are the help. Then silence. Outside, the black mist slammed against the windows. The walls cracked. Max barked and lunged, but the door began to bend inward like something was pressing from the other side with incredible force. Jack backed up. What do we do? The alien's hands began to glow again. Not just his chest now, his entire body. He turned to Jack. You must decide. Decide what? Earth has two choices. Hide again. Forget. Let the Varnock erase what little you remember of us. Or fight. And if we fight? Jack asked. The alien's eyes lit up blue. Then you must become what your ancestors once were. The only species that ever scared the Varnock. Max howled as the door shattered. The mist rushed in. Jack felt it trying to pull at his mind. Twist. His thoughts steal his memories, but the alien stepped forward. Hold the stone, he said. Jack grabbed it. Then everything changed. The world froze. The fire station vanished. The ground under Jack's feet became metal. He looked around. Stars, lights, a massive room with a ceiling higher than any building he'd ever seen. He stood on a ship. No, a warship, and in front of him were humans. Hundreds of them. But not like him. They wore armor that shimmered like night. Their faces were serious, their eyes sharp. Some had scars glowing with ancient energy. They weren't surprised to see Jack. They bowed. The largest of them stepped forward. Welcome, Last Spark, she said. Jack stared. Last Spark? You hold the last living key, she said, pointing to the glowing stone. We are echoes of the past, preserved only through memory tech. When the Varnock return, we return too. Jack turned slowly. What do I do? The warrior smiled. You lead us. Back in the fire station, Jack blinked. He was back. The alien lay on the ground, still breathing. The stone in Jack's hand now glowed with gold light, and in the sky, above Earth, the stars moved, ships, dozens. No one on Earth saw them yet, but soon, they would. Earth had been warned. Now, Earth had to choose. The day Earth answered back, Jack didn't sleep that night. No one did. Not after what happened in the fire station. Not after the stone showed him the forgotten past, of warriors, ships, and a war Earth was never told about. Now the question was simple. Would Earth run again, or rise? Jack stood outside with Max by his side. The sky looked the same as always. Calm, quiet, beautiful. But behind that blue sky, ships waited. The Echo Fleet had not spoken again since the message. They were waiting for him. He still didn't know what the glowing stone really was. Only that it had chosen him, and somehow connected him to Earth's long-lost defenders. The alien, barely alive, had told him one final thing before passing out. You must awaken what sleeps in your people. The bloodline remembers, even if the mind forgets. Jack didn't fully understand it, but he had no time to figure it out. Strange things were already happening across the world. Reports came in, people having visions, seeing strange symbols, in dreams. Ancient sites glowing again, pyramids, temples, even cave walls. Animals acting strange, birds flying in perfect shapes, wolves howling toward the stars. Even house cats sitting still, staring upward, unmoving. It was like Earth itself was waking up. Jack turned on the news. The government was confused. Scientists were panicking. Satellites were going blind. No one knew about the Varnock yet. Except Jack. He had to warn the world, but not by running, by remembering. He opened his laptop, not to write an email, not to message the military, but to post a video. A simple message. This is not a lie. This is not a joke. Earth has fought these things before. We won, and we can win again. But only if we remember who we were. He showed the alien. He showed the stone. He told the story. Everything. And he ended the video with one final line. If you've seen the lights, if you've heard the voices, you are not broken. You are waking up. Earth is not weak. Earth is ancient, and we have been chosen again. Then he hit upload. The video went viral in under 3 hours. People laughed at first. Then, they started posting back. Thousands. Then millions. One girl in Japan showed a mark on her hand that started to glow after she touched a carved stone at a temple. A boy in Kenya found a spear buried behind his village. When he touched it, it lit up with a red glow. A woman in Alaska claimed she remembered another life, as a warrior who fought the Varnock before. All across Earth, people were waking up. The Varnock knew it too. That same day, something massive entered orbit. It didn't announce itself. It didn't fire weapons, it just hovered above Earth, black and silent like a hole in space. Every screen went dark. Then a message appeared. This memory is denied. Return to sleep. Or be erased. Jack stood up from his chair. No, he said. Not this time. He went back outside. The alien was still weak but conscious now. He looked up at the sky. They're testing you, he said. Seeing if your world still remembers how to resist. Jack looked down at the stone. Then he looked at Max, whose eyes were locked on the stars. The dog was tense, ears up, ready. We're not running, Jack whispered. The alien nodded. Then you must lead the answer. Jack walked back to his garage and lifted the tarp off an old fire truck. He hadn't touched it in years. But now, he had a plan. Call them. All of them. The ones who remembered. The ones who saw the signs. The ones waking up. He opened his laptop again, and this time he didn't ask for help. He gave an order. To everyone who felt it, who saw the dreams, meet me. This isn't just another invasion. This is our moment to rise. We are Earth. We are the ones the Varnock fear. Bring what you have. Old tech, dreams, weapons, songs, anything that still remembers what we were. It's time to show the galaxy what Earth really is. Within a day they came. Hundreds, then thousands. A girl from Brazil who could speak languages she never learned. An old man from Norway who carried a sword that should have rusted centuries ago but still shined. Children who could draw maps of stars they had never seen. They didn't know each other, but they knew Jack, and they all knew one thing. They had been called. Together, they stood at the edge of an old desert base, once abandoned, now reborn. Jack raised his hand. The stone in his grip glowed like a small sun. The sky darkened, ships moved overhead. The Varnock had arrived, and Earth was ready. Max growled low, teeth bared. Jack smiled. The world had been quiet for too long. Now, it was answering back. Earth's last memory, and the war to keep it. The sky burned, not with fire, but with memory. Bright streaks of light moved above Earth as the Varnock armada spread across the sky like a black net. Silent. Cold. Massive. But they didn't fire yet. They were waiting. Because Earth had done something they didn't expect. Earth had remembered. Across the world, millions had awakened. Some remembered old languages. Some could see energy fields around living things. Others found ancient tools, armor, weapons hidden in mountains, forests, even buried beneath cities. Jack stood at the center of the old desert base, once forgotten, now alive with people, lights, and strange machines that hummed with power. The alien soldier, once dying, now stood beside him, armor repaired, holding a glowing spear. He was still weak, but his voice had strength again. "You did what I couldn't," the alien said. "I didn't do it," Jack replied, watching the sky. "Earth did." Max growled softly at his side, fur raised, eyes sharp. Then came the sound. Not a voice, not a song, a tone, deep, vibrating through the earth and into the bones of every living thing. The Varnock had spoken, but not with words, with fear. Everyone in the camp heard it differently. To some, it sounded like thunder. To others, it sounded like a scream from inside their own heads. But they all understood the message. You were erased, returned to dust. Or burn. Jack didn't flinch. He looked around at the people beside him. Farmers. Teachers, mechanics, soldiers, children, every one of them holding something old and powerful. They weren't an army. Not really. But they were enough. He raised the glowing stone in his hand. "Then come burn us," he said. The sky exploded. Varnock fighters dove toward the Earth base, silent as shadows, fast as lightning. But Earth didn't hide. Earth roared. From the base, ancient cannons, once part of some forgotten defense system, lit up like suns. Bolts of energy fired into the sky, striking the first wave before they reached the ground. In the air, human-built jets flew side by side with strange, hovering ships that hadn't flown in thousands of years, now reawakened by those who remembered how to control them. One girl from Egypt guided a ship with just her hands. A man from Brazil sang a song that made nearby machines power up and glow brighter. The alien soldier shouted a command in a long-lost language. And across the battlefield, energy shields rose from the ground. It was chaos. It was beautiful. Jack didn't command this army with ranks or orders. He led them with memory. Every person who had come to that desert had one thing in common. Something inside them had woken up. Jack drove the old fire truck straight into the field, Max riding beside him. Behind him, dozens followed. On foot, on bikes, in strange vehicles that moved like animals crawling and leaping across the dirt. They weren't just fighting a battle. They were fighting for the truth of Earth. Because the Varnock hadn't just wanted to destroy the planet. They had wanted to erase it from history. Jack now understood the truth. Earth had been more than a planet in the past. It had been a homeworld, of resistance, a symbol of defiance in the galaxy, too strong to control, too wild to break. So they buried it, wiped the memories, shut down the tech, killed or scattered those who remembered. Until now. Now Earth was no longer silent, and neither were its people. The final wave of Varnock dropped from their mothership. Giant, twisted things that walked like machines and screamed like beasts. People screamed, but they didn't run. A man stepped forward, holding an old hammer covered in rust, until it lit up with fire. He slammed it into the ground, a shock wave, through the creature's back. A child pointed at the sky. The light is opening again. Up above, a crack in the clouds. And through it, Echo Fleet. The same ancient Earth fleet that had vanished long ago, now returning. The stars rippled, and massive Earth ships entered real space. They weren't like the Varnock. They were old, powerful, and angry. The Varnock tried to retreat, but Jack raised the stone once more. Too late, he whispered. Echo Fleet fired, and the Varnock burned. 1 week later, Earth was quiet again. Not peaceful, just healing. The alien soldier, now in full armor, saluted Jack before stepping onto one of the ships. "We will remember this time," he said. "We will never let them erase you again." Jack nodded. "Just make sure they know," he said. "Earth doesn't forget." The alien smiled. "Earth never did." Max barked softly as if agreeing. Jack looked up at the sky. So many stars. So many secrets still out there. But one thing was now clear to every species in the galaxy. Earth was back. And next time, no one would dare forget it.